Thank you so much for joining me tonight, for being part of our personal branding mini masterclass. My hope is to add a lot of value tonight, and I'm really big on not wasting time as much as possible. I know we're not starting exactly on time. We had some technical difficulties, but I don't like fluff. I just did a 7-day masterclass on LinkedIn because it's a platform that I've never really used and I wanted to learn it. And it was 7 days, every day was an hour or more, and there was probably only 20-30 minutes of content every night. So I was doing other things, and it's just all the fluff made me crazy. So I hope my goal is to give you real value without a ton of fluff, so that you walk away from this with a understanding of why personal branding is important and actionable steps that you can take to increase and improve your personal brand for yourself. So that's my goal. And hopefully we can have a little bit of fun too. Who knows? I get really excited about this stuff, but I'm a little bit of a geek. So, oh, and we have a sweet pea joining us tonight too. How fun. Hi, Angel. So, so I'm going to share my screen. I made slides for you guys. I don't normally make a ton of slides, but I felt like y'all deserved some slides. So I'm going to share my screen. I have like 587,000 tabs open. Okay, can you guys all see that? You see my beautiful slides? Aren't they pretty? All right, so my name is Melissa Sutherland. We are going to be talking tonight about building your personal brand and why you need a personal brand. Why does it matter? And even if you don't have a business, I think most of you do, but if you don't, a personal brand is still a really valuable tool to have working for you on social media. So we're going to dive into each of these points, and then I'm going to teach you my super simple method for sticking to my brand, as well as a few tips to help you create some brand recognition for yourself. Sound good? So a strong personal brand is going to help you increase your professional opportunities. This is especially true if you utilize LinkedIn, but it's true for all social media platforms. It's going to help you build credibility and expertise in whatever areas you choose to represent on your socials. It can be monetized at any time. So even if you, for say, didn't have an active business right now, if you build a strong brand and you found yourself in a situation where you needed or wanted to monetize your social media, you could do that at any time. And the value of your personal brand actually compounds over time as long as you maintain a consistent presence. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and what that means. So, the world has gotten a little crazy these last few years. I think we can all agree on that, right? And a lot of people are finding that they need to change careers, or they want to change careers because they're not happy where they're at, or they need to increase their income to make ends meet. I can't even wrap my head around what's happening with inflation and money right now. It's crazy. And so a solid personal brand can really help you. It can help you find another job in your marketplace. It can help you connect to resources, and it can help you find a place in the gig economy if you need it. So just as an example for connecting to resources, my child a few years ago messed up, got his license suspended. It was really stupid. It was a clerical error, but it took an attorney to fix it because our legal system is not easy to navigate. But thanks to having strong social media connections and having a strong personal brand, I went live on my Facebook and said, here's my problem. And within minutes, I had a friend who was an attorney drafting exactly what I needed for me. And I compensated her, but she was actually going to do it completely for free. And I'm like, no. But having that strong network gave me that resource that when I had to raise my hand and ask for help, I had it almost instantaneously, because I truly had no idea what to do or how to solve this problem. And after 5 o'clock on like a Tuesday night, it's not always real easy to get clear answers. And she was able to answer my questions and fix me up almost immediately. It was amazing. So that's what I'm talking about when I say access to resources. You just don't know what you have out there until you need it and you raise your hand. But having a strong network and a strong personal brand where you've attracted a really good quality people to you who know, like, and trust you and want to help you is really going to serve you well when the time comes that you do have to raise your hand and say, hey, this is what I need. Who can help me? Or how do I do this? And you'll get amazing answers and amazing help. And knowing that I have a network I can rely on it truly is an asset. And we're going to talk about that as well. So who am I? Oh, my slides just got way out of order. Hold on. We got all kinds of stuff. Okay, there we go. Who am I? I am Melissa Sutherland. I have been running businesses in the online space since 2010, which is crazy to me. I actually started as a digital scrapbooker, and I owned a digital scrapbook consignment shop and sold the little bits and bobs, but I also had designers that sold in my shop. I had a business partner and we just had so much fun. And that was my first kind of dip of my toe into the online marketing space and, building relationships on social media. That's where I learned Facebook business pages and all kinds of fun stuff. But it wasn't until I decided to step back into the network marketing space that I really had to begin to learn like true attraction marketing and how to present myself online, because before it was all product all the time on Facebook pages and things of that nature. So I really had to learn the hard way. My computer is doing all kinds of things. I'm a little bit of a squirrel. I really had to learn the hard way in the digital space, and everything I've learned and that I'm sharing with you, I either invested in help to learn it, or I learned it myself from trial and error and making a lot of mistakes. I have been the spammiest person out there. I've sent the worst, most obnoxious, most cringy messages to people. If you can do it wrong, I've probably done it. Okay. So, but in the last few years, I've been able to build a multiple six-figure network marketing business, and I am currently wrapping up my credentials as a life coach. I've gone to school and I've been working, coaching women, and now I'm just logging my hours and wrapping up my credentials and doing some final things for my education. But in my time in network marketing, while I've built an amazing business for myself, I've also had the joy and privilege of helping other women build 5- and 6-figure businesses. And honestly, that is my happy place. Like, I love seeing women succeed. I love lifting them up. I love, collaborating with other women and just taking care of each other. And I've been doing that while I have been working full time for our family's air conditioning company. Being in the AC business in Florida can be a challenge. So we'll leave it at that. So it keeps me very busy, but I love what I do. I'm also a mom of 2 and a wife. We've been married 23 years. So my goal here is to help you not have to learn everything the hard way like I did. I, want to help you kind of shortcut your path to success a little bit. So if we can do that together, then that's going to be amazing. And truly, I think it'll be a blessing to us both. So Okay, so let's dive into what a strong personal brand will do. I kind of covered these at the very beginning, but I want to really, talk about them. So the first one is increase professional opportunities. Now, if you're somebody who, like in the medical field or, any marketing, public relations, human resources, this can be huge for you. Having strong relationships with people in your field or in adjacent fields. So maybe if you're a nurse practitioner and you're connecting with doctors or, things of that nature, it can be super beneficial when you're looking for new opportunities to have those connections. People that connect and relate to your personal brand are way more likely to be in your niche, and they might even recommend you for opportunities as they come available because you're top of mind. And while it's not a career opportunity necessarily, I recently got tapped to serve on the board of directors for a major charity in our area. It's one of the larger charities in our area. And while in the moment I had to say no, it was a huge honor to be asked, you know, and I just felt like if it weren't because the person who recommended me only knows me on social media, they only know me from what I put out, and we have mutual friends, but they don't know me personally and directly in real life. They only know me here on the screen. So for that person to nominate me for that position is a direct reflection of the content that I'm creating and the relationships that I'm building online. And it made me think about, because I was already in the process of writing the outline for tonight, how important that network is, because without that, I never would have been offered that opportunity and had the chance to talk to the head of that charity about the important work that they do and, build that connection a little bit deeper. And so while I hope to be asked again, and I think I probably will be next year, I told her I could step up and help. I really just felt honored and proud of the work that I've done, that it brought that opportunity into my lap. So if you're in the network marketing or coaching space, this could look like referrals for new clients. Like I'm in the activewear business. I love it when somebody tags me in an activewear post, because that means that I'm the person that they thought of. They didn't tag a brand. They didn't tag Old Navy or Lululemon. They tagged me personally. So, that's always a really good feeling. And it's a representation of the work that you're doing, that you're top of mind when they see a post from somebody looking for a sports bra. The same thing could be true if you're in makeup, or if you sell other lines of clothing, or, whatever. You want to be that person for your audience, the first person that they think of when they need whatever it is that you have to offer. If you show up online as a thought leader or an influencer, you might even have recruiters or hiring managers tapping you on the shoulder, and that's huge. And, especially in today's market, if you're looking for a job, I am so jealous of that wine right now. But I have water. If you're looking for a job, that can be incredibly valuable, right? So the next point is building credibility and recognition. So you could be the absolute freaking best at what you do, but if nobody knows it, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it matters when you're doing it, but it's not going to get you anywhere. And we have the ability, by cultivating what we share, to really create our own credibility. And sometimes we have to do that because we might work in a job where you don't get a lot of recognition or you don't get a lot of accolades. So sometimes we have to create our own thunder a little bit, right? So when I was fitness coaching, my first step into the network marketing space 10 years ago, I would get so frustrated, so freaking frustrated, because I would know the programs. Like I said, I like to geek out. So I would know the programs inside and out. I would know what you were supposed to eat. I would know all the workouts. I would know exactly what you were supposed to do. And I wouldn't sell a fraction of what the girls who never even opened the book sold. And it made me nuts. And I got so frustrated because I couldn't understand why they were so much more successful than I was when they didn't even know what the heck it was they were selling. And what it came down to was two things. The first one is belief, which we're not going to talk about tonight, but belief in yourself is huge. And I could do a whole course on belief. But it was also credibility. I didn't know how to create my own credibility. I didn't know how to create my own thunder. You know what I mean? So learning that and learning how to toot my own horn without being like super braggy and obnoxious, because nobody likes that either, right? Allowed me to be more successful when I switched businesses. So once you understand how to build a personal brand, your credibility, if you do what I teach you tonight, your credibility is automatically going to be stronger, because people are going to be looking at you as a resource. Now, I know I fixed these little white lines that are in front of the picture to put them behind the picture, so it's okay. Heather's laughing at me. Your personal brand is an asset that can be monetized. Now, when we think of assets, most of us think of tangible assets like our house, our car, our property. Like that's an asset. You can put a price tag on it. You can sell it. You can buy a new one. Those are tangible assets. Your personal brand is an intangible asset, but it can follow you anywhere in the world. You could pick up tomorrow and move to Fiji. If you do, let me know. I'm coming to visit. And your personal brand will follow you because social media has no borders. Your brand is yours and you can take it with you anywhere you go. And once you have a well-established network, you can leverage that network for things like affiliate marketing, direct sales. You can do referrals for other people. And you want to make sure you're relevant and you're within your niche so that you're not freaking out your audience or being overly spammy. But know that if you need to, or if you want to, you can always leverage your social media branding as an actual asset. The other thing with your personal brand, oh, there it is. See, there it's fixed. The other thing with your personal brand is that, I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, it can be compounded over time. Quick raise of hands. Who has heard of the compound effect? The compound effect. So what that means is small insignificant effort over time, day after day after day, eventually compounds and reaps huge rewards. Have you heard that before? Small effort repeated daily. So with your personal branding, the more consistent you are, the more you stay the course, the more likely you are to build a really solid brand. And it might feel at first like you're treading water and like, why am I doing this? Why am I working so hard? But then all of a sudden, you're going to start seeing real fruits of your effort. And you're going to be like, oh, now I get it. And, there's nothing more magical than putting out a big goal or, putting out that you need something and having your network respond in a huge way. And it's because of the work that you've done over time to build those relationships, to build that credibility, to build that know, like, and trust, that when the time comes and you raise your hand, people show up huge for you. And it's because you've built such an amazing personal brand that happens. So when you think of your brand and who you show up as online as an asset, assets generally, we think of them as appreciating in value, right? They get, hopefully, your house gets more valuable, your land gets more valuable. Cars don't necessarily get more valuable unless it's 2021, but but you think of assets as appreciating in value. But what's important to know is with your personal brand, if you disappear or you're inconsistent, it's going to depreciate in value. So you want to, as you begin to work on this, you want to really create something that you can stick to. So when we start talking about what to do and you start thinking about how you want to show up and how you want to post, don't go so crazy that it takes you hours every day and you can't stick to it. Start with 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day and do something that you can be consistent at over the long haul, because it takes at least 90 days to really see results from this kind of effort. Okay. So before we talk about how to, because I'm going to give you real actionable tips, so stay with me, but I want to tell you quickly about what I've got coming. I've got a 6-week launch coming. It's going to start Sunday. And basically the idea is we are going to, first of all, we're going to master your routines and your schedule, because without a strong plan, nothing's going to get done, right? And time management and routines are the only way that I have been able to build the business that I've built while working full time and being a wife and mom. Like, there's just no way I could do it otherwise. Then we're going to define your niche and your avatar. Does anybody not know what those words are? Your niche is your market or your the areas that you focus on, and your avatar is your ideal customer. And we're going to figure out who that is for you, because every person here has a different ideal customer. Mine's named Jennifer. She has a beautiful child. So, I mean, we're going to go deep and we're going to name her and we're going to speak to her as we go forward. We're going to clearly identify your goals, because your goals and my goals and Heather's goals and Angel's goals and Mary's goals, we all have different goals. We all have different things that we want. So we're going to figure out exactly what do you want and what is it going to take to get you there. Then we're going to dig into social media that sells. Now, if you're not in sales, this one might not apply to you so much, but they're amazing skills to have, because you never know when your kid might have a fundraiser, or you might decide to start a business or even start a blog. There are a lot of ways that you can use social media that sells. We're going to talk about building know, like, and trust. That's the it factor. Without know, like, and trust, your audience will not respond to you. They just won't. So we're going to talk about how to build that. And then the final week, we're going to put it all together in a comprehensive plan for you. It's going to be your plan for your business or whatever you have going on. So that starts April 9th, which is this Sunday. And for the people on this call, I have put it at a crazy, ridiculous price. Now, if you're on my network marketing team, don't do this. But if you're not on my network marketing team, it's $55 for the 6 weeks, which is stupid cheap. Courses like this are normally $300 to $500. But the reason I'm doing that is because I'm still new to coaching the public. I'm not new to coaching my team, obviously, but I want to build know, like, and trust. So that is why it is that crazy price. So if you want to join us, I put the link there and I'll drop it in the chat real quick. There's actually a question. Oh, I accidentally hit stop share. Yes, it is crazy cheap. And it's because I genuinely want you to take advantage and get to know me as a teacher, because you can't get to know me in an hour. Like, that's just, it's impossible. Let me grab the actual link and put it in the chat real quick. And then we'll dive back into the good stuff, because I want you all to walk away from this with real actionable tips that you can use. So, where's my slideshow? Isn't all right. Share screen. Can't believe I hit that. All right, so 3 actionable steps for you tonight. First one, step number 1, define your 5 pillars. This is super important. I learned this 4 years ago from my coach, Elsa, when I first started working with her, and it was a game changer for me. So we are going to dive into what that means, what that looks like. We're going to talk about the importance of being engaging and uplifting. And that doesn't necessarily mean exactly what you think it means, but I'll just say there's a difference between keeping it real and being a drag, right? And we're going to talk about being a student, but not a carbon copy, because that's really important. So the first one, define your 5 pillars. If you walk away from this tonight with nothing, walk away with your 5 pillars. Okay, nothing else matters. The 5 pillars are legit your golden ticket to knowing how and what to post on social media. I want you to, after we get off of here, or first thing in the morning, or whenever you have time, I want you to grab a pen and paper, and I want you to think up 5 topics that you are passionate about. Not what you think you should post about, not what your, company is passionate about, what you are genuinely passionate about, because these need to be things that you can stay excited about, that you can think of content around, and that you want to be known for. So, for example, I've already said it, my online business is in the activewear space. So, of course, activewear business, those are one of my pillars. Fitness is important to me. That's one of my pillars. Faith and family, elevating women are important to me. So those are my personal pillars. Okay. You want to be really clear about what those are, and they need to be topics you can kind of stick to. I just lost my train of thought again. Sorry. Did I mention I'm a squirrel? I'm pretty sure my mom is half squirrel. So take your time with this. Don't overthink it. It's not plastic surgery. It's not a tattoo. It's not permanent. You can change your pillars. You want to try to think of something you can kind of stick with for at least 90 days. Remember, I said it takes about 90 days to see results from your effort. So if you're constantly changing your pillars, people might get a little confused. They're not going to be sure if they want to be in your circle or not. They're not going to be sure of who you are. Who is Jolene? If Jolene changes her pillars every 2 weeks, they're not going to know, right? But if you give it 90 days and you decide, well, this pillar isn't really all that exciting to me, so I'm going to try this one instead. So maybe, like, I used to be a very avid scrapbooker. That's actually how I met Angel. I still love photography. I still love taking pictures. It's not one of my pillars, but I love taking a great photo. So maybe my arm never heals and I never get to work out again, right? And that's an exaggeration. It's going to heal. But, life happens. I can't work out anymore. Maybe I pull that fitness pillar and I start talking about photography. That's okay. You can change them. And we don't want to overthink them to the point where we never make our list and take action. Okay. And then once you have your 5, you want to kind of start thinking about some subtopics around that. So fitness, for example, I might talk about, different workouts, or I might share a video or a reel or a TikTok of a workout, or I might talk about tennis shoes, or, something like that. Or I might share about my stupid arm injury and I can't lift weights right now, right? Because I can't hold anything with my left hand. So I might share that journey and that struggle. So anything in that arena goes under that pillar. And then for family, I've shared a little bit. My son just turned 18 this past year and he just moved out, and I've been a crying basket case. Like, I've shared some of that. He actually came home for dinner tonight and I was so sad when he left. It's raw, but but the thing is that all falls under family, right? Or time with family, or the activities you do. If you have a business and your business allows you to do something special for your family, that's a great thing to share, right? So you want to kind of have your subcategories lined out. And what that will do is that will give you 5 different types of content that you can cycle through. So you always have something to talk about, but you're consistent in your messaging. So if cat memes are not one of your pillars, then cat memes are not what you post, right? Because that's not one of your pillars. Now, if you are obsessed with cats and cat memes are one of your pillars, then that's great. Post the cat memes, but you don't want to post just cat memes and nothing else. You ever go to somebody's Facebook profile and it's like food post, food post, food post, food post, and like that's it. And you're like, okay, they like food, but I don't know anything about them as a person, right? So if you love food and you love to cook, that's great, but you want to be multidimensional. You want to show more sides of you than just cat memes or food posts. So in preparation for tonight, I actually posted on my social media, tell me 3 words that come to mind when you think of me. And if you look, I don't know, can you guys see these? I know they're kind of small, but encouraging, positive. I appreciate the beautifuls, but that's not what I was looking for. Uplifting, loyal, supportive, intelligent, steadfast, ambitious, intelligent, empowering. Those are the kinds of things that I want to be subscribed to me. I'm not fishing for compliments, but I'm looking for consistency. And do you see how consistent these responses are? That's what you want. You want for your entire audience to know you as the type of person you want to show up as, and challenge each of you to ask this question on your social media and see what answers you get. And if they're really consistent, that means that your messaging has been really consistent. It's a really great way to test the water. So this is not homework officially, but it's unofficial homework. I want you guys to give this a try. Just post, like, look at that picture. That picture is terrible. My face is red, my hair is sticking out, and it's a wreck. Like, don't overthink it. Just snap the selfie, ask the questions, see what you get, and have fun with it. And I mean, I don't think anybody here is going to get a negative response, but you're looking for consistency in the responses. So it's authentic. Yes, exactly. And that's what you want. You want authentic. There we go. All right. Number 2, be uplifting and engaging, or engaging and uplifting. Have you ever heard somebody say, or have you seen somebody post, nobody ever comments on my posts? Have you seen somebody complain about that? I actually saw one the other day. I'm willing to bet that that person does not engage with other people's content very much, because social media rewards those who give freely. So if we want engagement, we have to engage. So when I say be engaging, I don't mean be Reese Witherspoon and be charming and perfect. What I mean is, I love her. What I mean is engage with human beings on social media if you want to receive engagement back. Okay, so before any post, especially a post that you want good engagement on. So like before I did that give me 3 words post, I quickly, and I mean super fast, you don't overthink it, you just scroll type, engaged with 10 people in their comments. and, literally just respond. But I wrote complete sentences. I didn't just do like a heart emoji. You know what I mean? Like, you want to genuinely engage. You want to be, and if you can't genuinely engage, skip to the next one, but don't skip so much that you're scrolling for an hour, right? So if you have a post, and whether this is in a private group or like I know Angel sells clothes, Heather sells clothes, you know what I mean? If you're going to post in your private group, this still works if you do this on your profile. So go and engage with 10 people, then do your posts. And this works also on Instagram. So what that does is it kind of primes the algorithm. And it says, it lets the social media platform know, okay, she's here, she's being active, she's engaging. Let me show her content to people because I know she's here. So you comment for 10 people, you give what you want to receive, then you post, and then you want to stay available for about 10-15 minutes to respond to any comments you might get. And if you don't get any comments, that's okay. But social media rewards time on platform. So they want to see you there. So if you're engaging, responding to stories, it's a great time to send happy birthday messages to people, things of that nature. You're more likely to have your post seen. And then it is important to respond to as many of your comments as you can. Like with that, give me 3 words. It was hard to respond to everybody, but I tried. So, go in and, give thanks, give love, that kind of thing. And if you have to come back later and do more, that's okay. Like, you don't have to do it all at once. If you get 75 comments, you can come back. But that also, when you come back and you start responding to those comments, that kind of revives that post so more people see it. So it's kind of like you're hacking the system a little bit. What we want to avoid is complaining, negativity, whining, all of that kind of stuff. Toxic positivity is real, and I am not okay with it. But you can keep it real without being a negative Nancy. So what my test is, because like yesterday, something happened at work and I was livid, like hot. And I wanted to be like a keyboard warrior and like vent. And I started typing it out. And then I stopped and I read it and I went, I would not want to read this if somebody else posted it. And I deleted the whole thing and I put my phone down and I walked away. I'm not saying I'm always perfect, because there's been a lot of deleted posts over the years where I've gone back and went, oh, but when you have that awareness, it does make it easier to catch yourself in the act. So my limit test for if I should post something or not is, number 1, if I saw this on somebody else's feed, would I want to read or listen to it? If the answer is no, then I probably shouldn't post it. Would I say this? Like if an acquaintance walked up to me at the grocery store and was like, hey, Melissa, how are you? If I wouldn't say whatever I'm about to post to that person, I probably shouldn't post it on my social media. And would I want this to be someone's first impression of me? Because the reality is, somebody comes to your page for the first time and that's the last post you did, so it's the first thing they see. Is that how you want to be known? Is that what you want them to see? If the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't post it, right? So you want to make sure that you are being a light and being an uplifting, engaging person, even if that's not naturally your personality. Like naturally, I'm pretty pragmatic. I can lean very much to the negative, but when I post, I try to catch that and not be fake, because nobody wants to interact with anybody that's fake. They want authenticity, but to take my lemons and make lemonade to the best of my ability. Right? So my keyboard warrior post yesterday went away. Nobody will ever see it. I deleted it. It's gone. And it probably saved me a lot of trouble because it really didn't need to go on my social media. Right? But the desire was there. So it's okay if you feel that way, but you want to start to try to catch yourself and know that if it doesn't answer those questions in the positive, then we need to probably not post it, right? So engage and uplift. And lastly, we want to be a student, but not a copy. So I give my blessing to my team all the time to use my content. Take it, use it. I don't care. But I recommend that they make it their own, because I'll see someone grab one of my posts, and even though it's a post that's performing well for me, it'll fall flat for them because they've just used it word for word. We don't all talk the same. We don't all think the same. And the reason your audience is following you and attracted to you is because of who you are, not because of who I am. That doesn't make any sense, right? You know, nobody walks like you, nobody talks like you, nobody thinks exactly like you. You are special. And you are the reason that those people want to connect with you. So it doesn't make sense to take somebody else's words verbatim and expect your audience to always resonate with it. Now, sometimes you're going to get lucky. Like sometimes you're going to take somebody's content and you're going to post it. It's going to go crazy and it's going to be amazing and awesome. But more often than not, it's not going to do as well as if you had taken the time to reframe that content in your own words. But that being said, we can learn a lot from social media influencers, and we can learn a lot from the thought leaders in our niche market. So for example, I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to learn LinkedIn. I have like 130 connections on LinkedIn. So if you guys want to connect with me, that would be fabulous. But I'm trying to learn it, right? And so I am watching people who do very well on LinkedIn. I'm watching people who teach LinkedIn. I'm watching Gary Vaynerchuk because he is a social media pro. So I'm studying what works for them. I'm studying the type of people that follow them and the type of content that they put out so that I can learn what works on that platform. But I'm not going to take their ideas and copy them word for word. I'm going to take my content and make it appropriate for that platform so that I'm showing up as uniquely me as possible while being a student of these people who have figured it out before me. Does that make sense? So for Instagram, for example, Brock Johnson is an amazing teacher and he's an influencer. Follow him, learn from him, don't copy him exactly. And if you're in a specific niche where you know someone who does very, very well on a network in your niche, follow them, learn from them. Don't steal their content directly. Make it your own, make it unique to you. And it's not as hard as it sounds. Sometimes it's just taking their words and rearranging them in a way that it sounds like it came out of your mouth. If, like, for example, I say, if that's not your jam, it's okay. How many of you say, if that's not your jam? It's not super common. I mean, some people say it, but it's not a super common expression, right? My friend Christy calls ladies gals. Hey, gals. I don't use the word gals. The word gals coming out of my mouth is just awkward and weird. When she says it, it just flows. It's natural. It sounds natural coming from her. It's who she is. So when I take her words, I have to change them because otherwise it's just goofy. All right. So pay attention to their strategies, how they interact with their audience, learn from them, and then make it their own. So I know we can only go so deep tonight, but I hope that you got value from this. I hope it was helpful to you. Your homework, define your 5 pillars. Know that that is your golden ticket for always having something to post. Those 5 pillars are your lifeline. So you want to get them defined and then come up with a few subcategories for each one so that, and if you're cycling through them, every 5 days, you have a different content idea. Then you're going to get engaged. Start paying attention to how you engage. Be actively aware of your presence, especially before and after you post. Especially if that post is super important. So, for example, if you're going to post a new product launch, you want to really engage before you post that new product launch so people are more likely to see it. And then if you want more, launch with me and we'll take the 6-week course together. We'll dive into these strategies. We'll go deep. We'll build you a really strong personal brand that earns you real income and allows you to create a business that you can be really, truly proud of. And just a reminder for the ladies that are on my team, don't use this link. So now, does anybody have questions? I know I talk fast and I'm working on it. But are there any questions for me? Is there anything you weren't clear on? Mary, I'm real jealous of that wine. Heather's got it too. Man, it's all right. All right. Well, if nobody has questions, we'll call it a night. But if you do think of questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My inbox is open. My phone goes on do not disturb at 9 because I get up at 4. But you can answer me and I will answer you back when I see it. So, or you can ask me and I'll answer you back when I see it. But thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for being a part of my world. I appreciate you. And I genuinely hope you got value from this. Was it helpful-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good. I'm glad. Awesome. So, all right. Well, if nobody has questions, thank you, Carrie. That's such a pretty heart. How do you do that? Is that under reactions? I don't know how to do that. That was cool. All right. I saw something new tonight. Heather did it too. How do you do that?
It's at the bottom, like next to like record, it says reactions.
Ah. I just knew to like, if you hit recognize hand gestures and you raise your hand, it raises your hand for you on the screen. Okay. Well, see, I learned something new. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here, for taking part. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.